Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to some fairly long overdue Vulcanist PVP. So today I'm in Port Sion on my character Xenia. I'm going to try and commentate on this video while doing it live, so getting this guy down with Ethereal Beam, boosh. And then we're on to this Inquisitor next. I wouldn't say I've fully mastered the Vulcanist yet, so I might be slightly terrible at this. But regardless of which, hopefully this should give you a good idea of what some Endgame Vulcanist PvP looks like. Because I'm doing all right on it. I usually finish in the top 5 in terms of damage done in a Warfront, which is a mildly impressive feat of achievement here. I think I'm going to drop back because I'm being dotted up by an Inquisitor. And I have nothing to quickly get away. Fantastic. My teleport's off cooldown. Okay, so it looks like the other team have pushed quite heavily for the church. Not really too sure what our team strategy is at the moment. It appears to be kill the other team so that they can't have a strategy, which, I'm very much enjoying. It's pretty fantastic. Let's drop my Idol of Inferno, or whatever it's called. Beacon of the Drake. Sorry, I just call it Idol of Fire because it's a big fire foothold that you drop and it burns everything around it absolutely fantastically. As you can see by the damage there, probably like if you're looking at the simple meter in the bottom left, most of that was probably off PvE mobs that were still up and running. But boosh, there we go, he's down. And somebody else has dropped their Beacon of the Drake. It appears we have a couple of challengers outside the hotel looking for a bit of a rumble. Okay, so we got an Inquisitor here. Pro interrupts, as you might be able to tell, and they're going down. Bosh, fantastic. Okay, let's root that marksman, and we're going to be gunning for the big ethereal beam now. We've popped the big cooldown, so Avatar of the Drake is up. This guy is pretty much, he's dead, There's going to be so much splash damage there. I really wish I had my Beacon of the Drake off cooldown. There's just a perfect opportunity to use it in the middle there. Lots of little PvE mobs scattered in between, and I think we're just going to drop it at the back because it's hitting 3 people. There's probably more going to move to that location, so some very, very nice value off that beacon there. And plus it helps, burn down all these overextenders that we got at the moment. Boom, Ethereal Beam. Ethereal Beam is probably my favorite spell in the game at the moment, just because it hits so hard, and a lot of Primalist, what I'm seeing with a lot of Vulcanist, is they will try to use it off cooldown. However, Ethereal Beam's main weak disadvantage is that it can be interrupted very, very easily. I don't think it instantly deals damage, so if you interrupt it before the first tick goes off, which you have a second to do, which the majority of skilled PvPers can do, then you have just wasted that cooldown. But if you have the right opportunity where you've snared somebody, they're not going to easily line of sight, and then you can just get an absolutely perfect one off there, like I almost did with that guy, apart from I didn't bank on him getting flickering away. And we're dominating this match. It's going fantastically. Oh, this is gonna be glorious. We've dropped a beacon in the middle of that, and I am dead. I am so dead. Oh my god, I wasn't expecting that much focus there. Hopefully we've got some healers that can bring me back from the grave. I don't usually use Molten Wave, but will it? Yeah, well, we're getting a decent amount of value from it there. Yeah, why not? Why not? Go on, it's a Wednesday evening. We can have a cheeky amount of Molten Wave, not Volcanic Wave. Gosh, like I still don't know half of the ability names, which really, it says a lot about me as a player. Okay, let's get this person down. We should probably, we'll switch to the healer. We're feeling like the MVP today. So let's get that Stroke of Brilliance off, and then we're pushing into Full Fury. The big shot, let's root the healer so he can't get away, and boom, down he or she goes. Fantastic. I feel like this Warfront, I should be in an AoE spec now. There's like 20 of them, but I'm having too much fun just nuking them down one by one. Okay, let's get the big Ethereal Beam off. We're not being targeted. Come on. Oh, no critz at all. How unfortunate. Absolutely robbed there of critical hits. We should probably try and cap this. I feel like no, there's no point now. We need to dispatch of these guys before we can get them for the cap. This is turning out to be quite the farm, though, which is great because I have found myself needing a crazy amount of favor for my Primalist to buy all the upgrade cells, something that I've never really had on any other character. I've got all like these amazing pieces, but just nothing to upgrade them with, which, you know, does suck. So definitely need that favor at the moment. I can definitely be dealing with this game. Okay, I really want to get... Okay, let's go full burst on this guy, and I prematurely did the skill shot. Fantastic. That ethereal beam was so weak. Didn't have precision bolt up there, and I totally just I failed. That was an insult to ethereal beams everywhere, if we're going to be honest. Okay, this guy's going down. Way too brave. I feel like we've just had like the most easy match here now. We're just farming them. I kind of want to go and try and pick some 1v1 battles. But at the same time, I'm just having too much fun here, just like getting these guys down. Should I? Nah, it's a bad idea to go to the front lines. Bullsh, skill shot, you're dead. So my kind of overall thoughts about the Vulcanist, for anybody just a bit curious of how I'm kind of finding the class in comparison, is it's amazing. It's a glass cannon spec. Look at that. Look at damage. Crazy. A bit of that's because of the Beacon of the Drake bug, but you know, even without that, it'd still be pretty decently up there. But my thoughts are, it is in terms of like raw damage output, it's a lot stronger than Pyromancer and Inquisitor. However, it just does not have the utility. So, for example, like if I go up against two people on my Inquisitor, I can usually kill them both, you know, if they aren't like super good at the game, because I have like this healing cooldown and some self heals, and like I can fear one of them, which usually works quite well. But when it comes to, you know, 1v2ing on my Primalist, I just blow my cooldowns, nuke one down, and then I can get the other one to like 50% maybe, because I just don't have the stuff needed to survive. But yeah, and in comparison to Pyromancer, all Primalist really has at the moment, you have the Root and the Flicker. And those are your really only 2 CCs that you can get without heavily gimping your damage. As you can see, guys, Beacon of the Drake bug, it's being fixed in the hotfix, which makes my damage look a bit more than it is. Not huge amounts more, but as you can see, you know, like it's cheating a bit. I reckon this would probably be on about like 1.5 to 2 million, so not quite as high as, you know, it looks. But in comparison to the Pyromancer, you're missing stuff like you're missing the Debilitate, you're missing Ride the Wind, the movement speed increase. What else are you missing? The Root lasts 3 seconds more on the Pyromancer, which is pretty cool. You also have the off-global cooldown stun. So yeah, like, I just feel like you lack a lot of tools to actually CC and control people, which doesn't matter, you know, in like when you're having a Port Scion like 20v20 Zergoth, ain't that bad. But when you are up against 1v1 people, I feel like a skilled Pyromancer could definitely, you know, beat the ever-living daylights out of this. Same with Inquisitor. You know, I'm quite confident that I could take on myself and win quite easily on my Pyromancer and Inquisitor in comparison to my Vulcanist. Unless I got really lucky with the damage on my Vulcanist and I got those big ethereal beam crits, because that is like so much damage. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this Primalist PVP video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a nice look at what kind of it is to be a Primalist at Endgame. Just as a heads up for any of those of you curious about gear, I'm not quite geared for raids yet. I'm in that level where I'm mostly expert geared, so for kind of, and also I'm lacking a lot of enchantments on my gear, so I would say I'm kind of like the middle end of the expert geared people, I would say, kind of hovering around that area. So in Warfronts, the current gear levels that I can progress to is like max fully out enchanted expert, which I would say is probably about another 10 to 15% stats, and then raid 1 geared stats, which, you know, enchanted and dream orbed is probably, I could increase my stats by a good 30%. So that's to give you an idea of, you know, how powerful Primalist could be in the current range of Warfronts that we have. But I believe they're bolstering it up a bit to tier 2 gear as well soon. So yeah, this is just if you can get the gear, it's just going to be like an amazing sniping class, but as soon as you get focused, you are going to have a lot of trouble. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the video. I've been Seatin. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have, hit the subscribe button. There's going to be more Primalist content coming out. And yeah, have an absolutely fantastic day, guys.